Carmen Electra, you've lived a wild life.
Oh, I know. My mom said when I was born, I came out dancing. I waved at the camera, boom, that was it. I was on the news every day about that.
Is that true or is that not true?
No, I didn't know that.
And they asked me if I could swim, and I said, of course.
He's like, let's shoot another scene.
I'm a wanderer.
You never know what you're going to get.
Something changed.
How many people in this office do you think have or had a picture of Carmen Electra on their wall?
Is that like 2 out of 2? 3 out of 3? 3 out of 3?
Taylor behind us already.
Does it count if you had more than one?
I love that. I love it.
I think he still does. I mean,
Really?
big fan.
I love that so much.
He's only wanted to take pictures with 3 people that have come on the podcast, and you're going to be number 3. He already told us.
Oh my God.
And that's out of like
so sweet.
750 of these.
He doesn't
so.
care about anyone but certain people. Okay. Carmen Electra, you are here on the podcast. We want to get the lay of the land with you. We want to get your story. You were born in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Talk to us about what your childhood was like.
I grew up with really supportive parents, and they really wanted me to, well, my mom said when I was born, I came out dancing. And I was always moving, so dance was kind of like the obvious place for me. And so she put me in classes. They would work extra jobs. My dad is like a real guitar player. He discovered Bootsy Collins. He's played with the Ohio players. Like he was funky. He was into the blues. So they just worked extra jobs so I could study. And when I was 9 years old, I auditioned for the School for Creative and Performing Arts. And that probably was the best thing ever because you're kind of learning, whatever it's almost like college. So you can start from the 4th grade to the 12th grade, and you're with like all these diverse people. If there was always a chance for everyone. So if we put on The Sound of Music, they would be like everyone was considered, no matter what your race or color is. And that was beautiful to me. And that was kind of where I learned, I think, to be open and just, I don't know, I had fun there.
When you're 9 years old and you're already performing, is that crazy to look back on? I mean, 9 years old is young.
Well, I started dancing when I was 5. By the age of 7, I had over 100 trophies because I was competing.
Wow.
And then I was also auditioning for the gymnastics team. But it was kind of like, are you going to choose ballet? I kept spraining my ankle, because it gets serious when you audition for the team. And I made it, but I had to make a choice. And just because I had been studying classical ballet for so long at that point, I think it was easier because our school, I majored in dance. My minor was vocal music and drama.
So you are very talented in a lot of different areas. It's not just dance.
Well, I will definitely say though, I've always been really shy. I got over my shyness.
I was going to say, I wouldn't peg you as shy.
I know, you can't shut me up now. But yeah, oh my God, I couldn't even, when I came to Los Angeles, I just wanted to be a dancer, maybe for Janet Jackson or artists. And that's what I came to do. But for some reason, I kept putting in the middle.
What do you mean by the middle? Like, what does that mean?
I just remember someone brought me into Capitol Records, and I got signed to a demo deal, and it was me. You know what I mean? It was so scary. And then I auditioned for a group that Prince was putting together. And when I auditioned, I didn't get a response. So I just thought, great, though, I've got this Capitol deal, and they'll keep me in LA, and I'm going to meet a lot of producers. And it is scary though when you just go in like sing this and da 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 da. Because I had been studying more like in my childhood for musicals, and it's a whole different tone.
So you thought you wanted to be like a background dancer for Janet Jackson, and then they put you.
Yeah, or just like that. I wanted to tour. I didn't have to be in the front. I was cool being a part of a group.
Weren't you with the Pussycat Dolls for a while?
Yeah,
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. You can't jump ahead.
Well, I'm contextualizing all this together.
Yeah.
So when you meet Prince, what was that like? Like, what was he like if you were to describe him?
I was 18 years old, and we went to his house, and he was kind of standing in a doorway, looking like really sexy. And I was only 18. I felt nervous, what's happening here, and so I just auditioned. Like, it was funny. He went to the piano and literally started playing Do Re Mi, and I was in The Sound of Music twice at a dinner theater. I played Marta and Brigitte, and so I kind of knew it better than he did because I was performing it, and so he thought that was cute and funny. And then we had to play pool, which I suck at playing pool. I was like, why? But he was asking me about my dance world and how much he really appreciated the dedication that goes into ballet.
It's a lot of work.
Your toes are bleeding in your point shoes, and you can't stop.
Don't they break the feet in ballet too sometimes so that you can? Is that true or is that not true?
I think you can break a lot of things or really mess some of your body up. But I mean, I know a lot of dancers that went on to Joffrey and got an injury, and they were just done.
Which is so wild that you work your whole life to get there, and then you get an injury and it's over.
I know. I felt horrible for my friends. And then I thought, you should have come out to LA, because it was always New York or LA. So if you're going to New York, it will be Broadway,
And LA's
and
more
I
like
also
Hollywood.
had a friend dancing on Broadway, and she had a knee injury, and that was it. And so I felt kind of lucky in a way that I went to LA.
So
Because there's a different scene in LA, I feel like.
A totally different scene.
Yeah.
What happens after you and Prince are singing Do Re Mi? Like, what is the relationship? I mean, does he fall in love with you? He's got to fall in love with you.
I don't know. I mean, he was just kind of being him. And then he wanted to see me dance, so I went full out, dancing in every kind of way. And I felt like he was like, okay, cool, because I came in with like a certain style of dance. Like, we just dance hard, and he liked that a lot. But then I heard nothing. So the girl that, it was her band, she kept saying, I thought you were amazing and I want you in my group, but he's not giving an answer. And so that was, okay, fine, that's cool. I'm cool. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I was able to stay in LA because of Capitol and recording demos. So I was in a hotel, the haunted Roosevelt Hotel.
That's where you were staying?
Yeah, that's where they put me up. It was so scary.
It really is haunted, huh?
Everyone used to hang out at the Roosevelt, though. What was the club that was in the Roosevelt back in the day?
Oh, there was a good club popping, but
Teddy's.
this is
Was it
so...
Teddy's?
Maybe it was Teddy's, yeah.
There was one with clowns or something too, I remember.
I don't remember
You're living at the Roosevelt Hotel and you're working for Capitol Records, and then at what point does Prince call?
The friend that I was able to spend more time to... I was like, I have 2 weeks to figure something out. And it was kind of magical. I kid you not. Just... boom, going in. You have we're signing you to a demo deal, and then next thing you know, I'm at Prince's house, and I'm auditioning, and that was weird, but I was fine with it. Okay, he doesn't want me. I'm gonna continue doing this, and he was able to get in touch with me. I remember, I think at that point I may have been staying at the wait, what's that hotel? It's like it's a cheap hotel. It's not like, for a minute I was at this hotel. What do you call it? The Holiday Inn, honey.
Holiday Inn. Okay.
Lord, get it out. The Holiday Inn. And so, I was like eating candy bars. They don't, they don't have food. But I would go wandering around. I've always been like, I'm a wanderer.
I call it putzing around.
I go wandering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
do
putz
it.
around.
I mean, I've done it in Italy. I just go. I like to just go sometimes.
Oh my God. Michael
I'll just roam. I'm a good roamer.
I like a roam. I love a roam.
I don't mind a roam, but it's kind of a slow.
No, you do mind a roam.
You do a little bit of a slow
he likes
roam.
a planned out roam.
I just would leave and whoever was with me didn't even know I was gone.
I should just do that to you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
You say that. I don't
So
think I
I
could do it.
just like looking at the culture, looking at the streets, the fashion. And there was so many different things. And I don't know, I have a habit of doing that.
I putzing. You got to putz around.
But I think when you kind of just snap back or something, you're not really drawing a lot of attention. So,
see, Michael?
Yeah,
No,
what I mean?
I don't mind the roaming around. It's just the pace of the roaming is a little
The pace
slow.
of the
I'm
roaming.
slow.
Yeah.
That's why I go by myself.
Yeah.
I like shopping by myself because literally I turn into a zombie. My eyes are spinning and I'm just like looking at stuff and,
I think
figuring it out.
sometimes too, when
So-
you're really creative, no offense, Michael.
Shopping alone is really good unless you're with someone that shops like you. So you'll go to completely different departments, but then you'll kind of check in and then go away. Then you're in trying clothes. How much fun? I mean, shopping's really fun, isn't it?
It's the best, but I want to
think
shop
back
on my
in
own
those
terms.
days, I would just be looking because I couldn't afford a lot of things.
So you were sort of daydreaming about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was going into every store and just looking and paying attention.
So does Prince
way
call
that
you back?
He gets a hold of me
Okay.
at the
Holiday
Holiday Inn, and he wanted me to come over and watch like an old movie, and I said no, I'm here to work.
But do you
And I
think
think
the
he
watch the
respected
old
that.
movie was like, okay, you thought it was like it was a kind
What do
of
you know? He wasn't asking to come over to eat popcorn, Michael. If
the
that's what you're
old watch
wondering.
an old movie
Well, I
trick.
don't know what he was actually meaning.
You said because you
but
said no.
it wasn't to work on music. So I said no. Yeah. And then later on, he got a hold of me and he knew I was recording and he said, I want to hear your demos. So I said, okay, yeah. He was so funny. He said, we could use these as coasters or frisbees. Because,
Oh.
he's got that great sarcasm. He's hilarious, right?
So he didn't like him?
No. And he goes, I want to sign you. Okay. Well, I said, but I already signed a contract. So I told him that I don't want to have any problems. I signed something with them. He goes, don't worry, I'll get you out of it.
Did he?
And he did.
Wow.
He did.
He's Prince.
He's Prince.
And so when you sign with Prince, what happens in your life? Is that a moment that it sort of took off with your career?
It was this moment where he's like, I was kind of nervous about it. And he said, your flight's going to be leaving at this time. There'll be a car to pick you up. And I was so kind of going, I don't know if I can do this. He said, are you a blonde or a brunette? Just trying to rile me up. And so I went. I got up. The flight was so early. I flew by myself. Packed up I had the smallest bag. And he would say, you have a lot of clothes? I'm like, of course I do. But I really didn't. I just had a couple like pieces,
So when you go with him and you fly, where do you guys fly? Where do you go? Where are you traveling to?
I flew to Minnesota
Why Minnesota?
because that's where he lives and records in Paisley Park. That's his creative place.
Do you think that he picked that place because it was out of LA and New York and he didn't have distraction?
I know he loved LA and I know he loved New York, but I'm not sure. I can't answer for him, but I felt like he kind of maybe just liked going home, you know?
Yeah.
And people didn't really bother him
Uh-huh.
so much.
Like
you
a
know?
sanctuary.
Yeah, so he had a house, and then it was a short, quick couple seconds to get to Paisley Park. But I think in the end, maybe he was living at Paisley Park. I had heard that he burnt the house down for some reason, but I really wasn't involved in his life at that point, so I don't know.
When you
I
say he
can't.
moved back to Paisley Park, like he moved in that
I
area?
think they just made it like he's got a bedroom in there, and he already kind of had that, an office and a bed, and literally it was magical, like Willy Wonka. You know what I mean? Oh, you got the golden ticket, and you go in, and it was just so beautiful. It
Like
was
his house was like
it was-
perfect.
Paisley Park. I mean, his house was beautiful too.
Okay, so both were like
But I
amazing.
think some people like just automatically now say he lived at Paisley Park.
Got it.
He kind of did because he would record all the time. But at that point, he had a house too.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place, all on your own terms. It is 2024, people. There is no reason and no excuses not to own your own online presence, your own online brand, store, blog, website. Lauren and I are huge fans of owning your own content, your own business, your own personality online without being at the mercy of third parties. Almost everything we do, we make a point to make sure we own it, whether it's a blog or a newsletter or a website or this RSS feed that you're listening to this podcast on. Owning your own platform is so critically important. Squarespace can help you do that. Whether you want to build extensive email campaigns, your own merch store, your own online store, an asset library, custom merch, anything that you need to basically build a brand and monetize online. You can also build a course business, a subscription plan, anything that your mind desires, all on Squarespace. So if you've been thinking about building something online, whether it's a business or a brand or a blog or any kind of content engine, definitely check out Squarespace. We, of course, have a special offer for our listeners. Check out Squarespace for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to www.squarespace.com/skinny to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Again, that's squarespace.com/skinny to save 10% off. A new study has come out about the first new nutritional deficiency in 75 years called cellular fragility syndrome. This is caused by a lack of the essential fatty acid C15. As many as 1 in 3 people worldwide may have low C15 levels, which will lead to cellular fragility syndrome. This can accelerate aging-related breakdown and impair metabolic, liver, and heart health. This is such a big deal. We're getting ready to have the founders of Fatty 15 on this podcast to have an in-depth conversation all around this subject. I can't wait for it. But in the meantime, I highly suggest you check out Fatty 15 and learn more about C15. It's pretty simple. Essential nutrients keep our cells healthy, which keeps us healthy. If you want to get sciencey about it, studies show that C15 works by strengthening our cells, improving our mitochondrial function, and protecting us against damaging free radicals. The result, better long-term metabolic, liver, and heart health. Who doesn't want that? As it ends up, many of us are deficient in C15, which results in weaker cells that make less energy and quit working earlier than they should. All of that makes us age faster, sleep poorly, feel sluggish. Does this sound familiar? If so, it's maybe because you're deficient in C15. Fatty 15 is a science-backed, award-winning vegan and pure C15 supplement. By replenishing our cells with the essential C15 nutrient, Fatty 15 effectively repairs cells and restores our long-term health. Of course, we have a special offer for our listeners. Fatty 15 is on a mission to replenish your C15 levels and restore your long-term health. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/skinny and using code skinny at checkout. Again, that's fatty15.com/skinny, code skinny at checkout.
Okay, I tried something the other day that was so insane that I actually reached out to the founder and invited her on the podcast. It's something that I not only ate myself, but I gave my kids and my husband, and that is cookie granola. Have you guys tried this? If you haven't, you're missing out. It is by Purely Elizabeth. The reason that I like it is it checks all my boxes as a mom. So whenever I'm giving my kids any kind of food, I like it to check certain boxes. It's organic, it's gluten-free, It's non-GMO. It's no artificial flavors. It's baked with coconut oil and it's sustainably sourced coconut sugar. It's an unrefined sugar, which I personally love. It's also full of superfoods. So it has like chia, quinoa. It has a lot of organic oats in it too. So it's just a really good one to feed your kids. They have all kinds of flavors. I just love the cookie granola. They have like chocolate sea salt, blueberry hemp, vanilla almond butter. I also am a huge fan of their original ancient grain granola. I love this in Greek yogurt. I do like wild blueberries and a little bit of raw honey. It's amazing. If you have not tried the original ancient grain granola or the cookie granola, you're missing out. Both of these are my absolute favorites. Visit purelyelizabeth.com and use code SKINNY at checkout. You get 20% off site-wide. That's PURELY Elizabeth.com and use code SKINNY for 20% off. Purely Elizabeth. Savor the start.
So when you fly out to see him, what do you guys do? Is he immediately teaching you how to record, or did he let you have fluidity with your creativity?
Well, I came in, there was a purple limousine that picked me up at the airport, and his brother Dwayne was driving, and I really loved his brother a lot. He passed away, but Dwayne and I had this closeness that was really special. And he called me on this phone. I'm back in this limo. I don't think I've ever been in a limo. So it was just like so much. And he calls me back there and just said, I want you to buy something white and a white headband. And so we found that. Like they just took me to some place that I didn't know where I was at. It was a big adventure to just go like that. But he's really kind. And
Wait, is he asking you to buy a white dress and a white headband to like marry you?
no, not at that point.
Oh,
No.
I thought that he's like
No,
asking you to come.
I think he has these visions, and I don't know. That's what he wanted, and I was totally fine with going shopping. Let's go.
So what happens when you actually get there? Are you immediately thrown into recording?
No, I was living at his house for a moment.
And did he fall in love with you?
Yeah. I don't want to like speak for him, but eventually it just took me a while. I was really young.
But he was madly in love with you.
It seemed like it. I could say it seemed like it for sure.
So what point of your career, when you look back, do you feel like it really started to take off? Because this is a huge moment to be from Ohio, and now Prince is wanting.
And now I'm living in Minnesota.
I mean, it's wild.
It's wild. Yeah.
So is this a moment that you look back on that you think really started everything that's happened for you?
It would definitely was like the rooted part, even like what coming from a dance world. I mean, I learned a lot from him. I would always watch the way he worked.
He was an amazing dancer, right?
Oh yeah, he could do the moves. He was good at the moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was high energy all the time, always recording. And then all of a sudden he was like, we were working on songs together, and and that was cool. I mean, I was very nervous, but we recorded a song like that I don't think it ever came out. It's one of my favorite songs that we recorded, and it was called Carmen on Top. And it was so funky. The music was so funky.
You got to re-release it. You have to re-release it.
I can't do that. I mean, I don't. I don't own it. I mean, I have it on a cassette, but
Petition to get that out. What is your next sort of like moment in your career that happened that you look back on that was something that sort of shaped everything you've been through? Was it Baywatch next?
No, it was MTV.
MTV.
Yeah.
And what happened with that?
I auditioned for Singled Out. Jenny McCarthy was doing it, and then she had gotten her own comedy sketch show on MTV. So they were looking for, someone to fill in for her. And I'm like, you know, when I'm with my friends, I'm a goofball. I'm fun. I don't know, I'm a dork and all those things. But I was really shy. And I had to just take it in and go, well, if I'm going to go here for this audition, I need to be like on fire. And I got the part, and it was just like, I couldn't believe it. And it was a blast. That was more like, I would say this, my school had a college vibe. Prince had a college vibe. I didn't go to college. But MTV was like when you party and it's wild.
They just kind of threw you into it.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. All those spring breaks and interviewing.
I forgot about all those spring break shows on the MTV.
Oh.
That's like the era we came up in.
Do you think that because you put yourself out there with MTV and threw yourself into the deep end, that it took away your shyness? Because I would not describe you as shy.
No, it completely did. Something changed. And I'm happy for that. So I learned a lot there.
Yeah.
And then I learned things like, because you'd be nervous. Sometimes you're going live. You know, they'd have me on red carpets interviewing. I remember it was the Howard Stern premiere. They flew me out there.
For the movie, you mean? Or
Yes, in New
parts?
York, Private Parts in New York. And, you know, I'm interviewing people, and, you know, it was a huge red carpet, and it was such a big deal. I mean, I got to interview so many people. It was really cool.
You're doing podcasting before podcasting was out.
I interviewed Eminem in the early days, and I mean, there was just...
I remember you used to go on
Everything's
Stern too
fun.
back in the day. I remember those
All
interviews.
the
Yeah, all the
time.
time.
Is that nerve-wracking? I feel like that would make me nervous.
I love Stern. No, I love him.
It never
I
made you
love
nervous.
Howard. I was going on there super early in these wild little outfits, and then he always had me come back, and we had fun.
I wonder why.
We always had fun.
No, but
I love Howard.
you have to have a good personality. It's not just about the way you look to go on Stern. You got to have a good personality.
get
He's
the
not going to
invite
invite you back over and over.
I used to
and over.
listen to Stern all the
He's
time.
gonna, you know, play with you, and if you don't play back, you're never gonna get out there.
Right.
You'll be stuck in there because, like, Baba Booey comes out, and then no, and then. But I loved it. I don't, you know, it was fun for me.
Did he ever give you tips on how to interview when you were on the red carpet?
No.
No tips.
Nope. No
I think
tips.
Howard should have you back on, and you guys should share a bunch of tips.
But he did a book recently all about interviewing.
I read the book, but the book is
There's
not.
just interviews,
It's
too.
not tips on interviewing. It's interviews. In
Yeah.
fact, I think you were in there. Like
yeah?
he transcribed
Oh,
interviews.
I love that.
So tell us about the behind the scenes at MTV. This is pre-Baywatch. Tell us about
Mhm.
what it's like. Is it catty? Is it fun? And you mentioned that it's kind of like high school, but what's the behind the scenes look
Like
like?
college.
College.
Yeah, because every Friday when we finished shooting, we'd go to karaoke and drink. You know what I mean? And
Party.
everyone was like in that mode. Like, people would dress up as strange things. And it was just to bring the high energy levels up, and, you know.
Because it was those spring break shows too, right? Was that what they
Oh,
were?
yeah,
I remember those. When you're on
I
like the
mean,
big stage outside.
Do you remember when I walked out when Lit was playing? I was only going to walk out, and then all of a sudden, I just started dancing.
Oh, I do
and,
remember that. I remember that.
And it became like this iconic moment for the time.
It was like at a beach,
and then
right?
it was in Cancun.
That's right.
It was in Cancun. Well, it was great. You know, okay, we're going to Jamaica. And sometimes I wouldn't even know, like, yeah, even Destiny's Child when they were young. I interviewed all the girls.
That's wild.
See, that
I know.
platform catapulted a lot of
There's
careers.
So many things. But the rule became, if you mess up, it's punk rock. And I was like, oh my God, that should be the rule of everything. Because I never wanted to mess up, you know? But then I didn't care anymore. Great, it's punk rock, let's go.
So it was cool to sort of not be perfect.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy
The
about
mess ups were great.
about like MTV during your time is that they're like right now there's like you're sort of like competing with the world because of social media. So there's like all different kinds of influencers and entrepreneurs and
Mhm.
podcasters. But when you were doing MTV, in my head there was like 3 top girls. And it was like, to me, it was like you, McCarthy, and Pamela Anderson. Like those were the three. There wasn't like a ton of you guys that I remember. Is how it felt like behind the scenes?
It did, yeah.
Like there's are those the three that am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say at that time.
I mean, that's pretty cool because now it's like it's like so much.
And then when I think Baywatch saw me on MTV and had me come into audition when Pamela was leaving, but there was a lot of other girls that came along as well. So I never wanted to feel like, because she to me is just like the queen of Baywatch. So I never wanted to feel like, oh my God, like I'm stepping into her shoes now. But there was a lot of other girls brought at the same time, and I love that. I was like, yes, the more girls, the merrier.
The better. When you were asked to audition for Baywatch, what does that look like? Is it boring? Like, are you just in a box test reading, or is it a whole production?
They have this office where everything could happen there. So I went up and to do my reading, for the audition. David Hasselhoff was there. Yeah. And I got through that part fine. And then they said, here's a red suit. Go put that red suit on. I was like, really? Okay. I left my high heels on to come. They said, you got to take those off. I was like, God, did I shave my legs? I'm like, whoa, this is wild. But I did it. I did a little twirl. And then they asked me if I could swim. And I said, of course. And I said, okay, we're going to go down. There was a pool in the office where we would do a lot of underwater scenes because you're not going to be able to get that in the ocean. So there was a lot, like when you see everyone swing on top and then they go under, it was in the pool there. So, I just remember standing on the edge of the pool and saying whatever kind of prayer I said. I have no idea in my mind. And then I just thought, everyone always said, tuck your chin. I did that. I think my dive was probably amazing from the dancing. And there wasn't it's so different when you swim in a pool as opposed to the ocean. It's so different. So I got the part. I was like, wow, this is great. So it just kind of went to this. And then there's also a great connection with Playboy. But at the time I was going on to the show, I had done Playboy already. With a celebrity pictorial. But then I had this team around me. I remember it singled out. All these men showed up in suits. And they were like, you need an agent. And we had this grand meeting. And it was so cool that things were happening. And they said, you need a publicist. And you need a manager. So we sat and we interviewed people. And I think at that time, my publicist was trying to tone down the sexiness because we were always in the suit. Although that's not even who I am. I loved it.
Well,
you loved the sexiness,
I
or you didn't?
it, but they were kind of like, no. Yeah, I did one of the first covers of Maxim when it came out.
I remember that.
And I was like in these leather pants. Everything was like pretty covered,
So when Playboy approaches you, are you like, fuck yeah? Or did you have to like go through?
Oh, no, I was really excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember the first time I went in, you have to shoot a lot. And they offered me to be a playmate or to do a celebrity pictorial. And I looked at the contracts, even though I probably don't do that now. Have someone look at them. But I was kind of on my own on that, in the beginning. And so I looked at what the playmates would do and the money. And then I looked at this contract and I was like, no, I'm doing this one. I'm going to do the celebrity pictorial.
Do they just don't pay the playmates as well as the celebrities?
I think that they paid well, but not as much. So it didn't make sense to me.
What are the responsibilities of a playmate compared to just if you
I really don't know all that, but I mean, I've heard, some of the girls would have to live there. I didn't want.
Yeah.
I didn't
we had
want.
Crystal on the show.
I didn't want to
Yeah.
live there. I mean, I like to go to the parties, and that was fun.
But
I
then
think though
leave
you've
after.
always done
Yeah,
a
I
really
didn't
good
really
job
wanna
of separating your that was really sort of strategic.
I kind of felt like what I want to do, and then as things were happening, the pictorial would be something that felt more the direction I wanted to go in.
When they tell you,
Although I
you,
love all the playmates, like I have nothing against it, and a lot of the girls were like playmate of the month, of the year, or whatever, not the month, the year, and there was definitely a connection with Baywatch and Playboy.
when you do Playboy at this time, do they tell you what you have to do to come in? Are they like, you have to be this tan, you have to shave this way, you have to have...
No, they would do that all there.
So they say it's up to you what you want to do.
They had great body makeup that should come out again because they're not making it anymore.
You should make it. You should start a business.
I know.
That's the business.
I know.
Body makeup.
I know the formula because I still have the bottles.
You know,
Oh, yeah, honey. And that was like a secret. That was a good, and they always lit everything well, even though we were outside.
there's nothing worse than bad lighting.
It took a lot of time for them
Have
to
to.
light. So I think because all these things they would do looked very magical and you're by the water. So people would, from all over the world, would want to come in. I remember coming out of my trailer and, the one piece got smaller and smaller over the time, which was totally fine with me. But everyone's taking pictures and everyone will watch everything and like, okay,
A lot of
that's
pressure.
wild.
When you started doing Baywatch,
Yeah.
was that, I'm just going to guess, one of the hardest gigs you'd ever done because you have to get in and out of the water and there's
It
acting?
was definitely, and I have high respect for the people that stayed for all that time. I mean, for me, the things I would, we were expected to do most of our stunts because people had been complaining at that point. They didn't believe anyone was doing their stunts. And
Well, there was a weird point in Baywatch where the body and the person didn't look anywhere near like the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so they were like, no, you're going to do everything. We're doing everything.
Those old 90s and 2000s era splices were
There's
interesting.
These moments, though, where I felt like I could celebrate because they would say, or the script would say, you're tandem surfing. I don't know how to surf. You know what I mean? Okay, we're tandem surfing. Okay, so that means, and we kind of learned it in the episode, but going on the water, and these are professionals that would literally push you in the air, your acrobatics, all the ballet and all the acrobatics and things came into handy, but it was really scary. But making it through and literally, I just felt like I did this. It was so, I'm looking back, I could fall off. Anyone could fall off from a high level. And then I just remember I waved at the camera. Boom, that was it.
So you had to
It was
constantly
one of those
challenge
moments. Oh, yeah. I even had the flu. I got 2 tickets on the way out because we had to shoot where there were waves a little bit. So it was way out.
Did you? I would get
And I was
scared.
speeding on the way. Don't ever speed on PCH. You're going to get a ticket,
So what
I
happened?
got a ticket on the way and on the way home.
Wait,
But I had the flu but I did everything I was supposed to do.
were you not? This is maybe a stupid question, but were you not scared of sharks being so way out? I would be petrified.
They would discuss them, and sometimes there were, but I don't know. We were just supposed to do what we had to do. Yeah, I wasn't not gonna not try things.
Is every single
But,
guy
yeah,
on
we
the
could've
cast hitting on you at this
lost a
point?
limb. There was a guy he was a little flirtatious, but the thing was I was engaged to Be Real from Cypress Hill at that time, and I don't think people really know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
know,
know that
it's
either.
funny. It's just something that never came up. And his family's my family. And if it wasn't for him and his whole family, I don't know if I would have been able to get a car to go to auditions, you know? And so I just, like, their family is my family to this day.
So that means you were not interested in anybody else at the time. You were just
No, I wasn't, but you know, these hot bodies are flirting, but you know, I'm if I'm with somebody, I'm with them, you know?
I bet a lot of people have a lot of questions about the behind the scenes on the Baywatch set. I imagine it was like Melrose Place.
Well, I was very green going into acting, and I didn't really realize. And my partner, my love interest, was David Chokichi, but I didn't know if it says kiss, like you don't have to use your tongue. I didn't know that's kind of an overall rule of acting, unless it's some type of specific movie where it would require that. We didn't need to require that on Baywatch, you know? But I didn't know, so I just tongued him down. And
poor guy.
And no, but everyone loved it.
How terrible for him.
I mean,
Everyone
and then I kind of cringe when I see it because I'm just, you know.
I would not know that either. I wouldn't know that if I was called to kiss
Because I would
someone.
want to make it look real, right?
Yeah, like
Acting. you know?
yeah. But I figured it out later when I started working on other movies that, oh, you don't have to do that. I was like, great. Whatever. Maybe it just made the scene even better. I'll take it as that. But I was a little embarrassed that I just went.
Let me ask you this: was he
Trying to
like,
be
whoa,
real.
whoa, whoa, stop that?
No,
of course
not
not.
at all.
I don't think
Of course
no,
not.
I think he was
not at
okay.
all.
He lived.
He's like, let's shoot another scene.
He like,
I was just like, you know, later on, like, oh my God, should I be embarrassed or is it like hot?
I think it's cool.
Okay, good.
Yeah. What do you
Okay,
mean? Like,
okay. I have to accept it.
if
then.
someone calls to kiss someone, no one's kissing without tongue. If you're like with someone, are they?
No, but there's certain scripts that it doesn't require that at all.
You know, I heard that sometimes they
this
actually.
I would
one-
just look at it as like you're
this
an
one
overachiever,
didn't require that. Like, you just go like,
like a brush.
you don't have to like just lips moving and blah blah blah. But I like went tongue deep.
I've heard some actors and actresses actually fuck. So I mean,
Oh,
yeah, I've heard
wow.
they actually.
I've heard some of those rumors too.
They
Like in the
actually-
real
But I
scene or
don't know if
after?
it's true or not.
No,
They
after.
actually fuck
And
in the real scene to make it
I
look real.
have a feeling we were thinking of the same movie, but I'm not gonna, because I don't really know. But
I'll tell you off air. I bet
it
you
looked
see-
like it.
Yeah, there's a couple.
What movie is this?
I
Why-
can't.
why-
say.
It was a
like-
big movie.
It was a huge
It was
movie.
a huge,
big movie.
big movie.
And
Like,
also, Ben Affleck
great
really showed his real
actors.
dick in Gone Girl.
Yeah, that's
Really?
normal.
That's his real dick. Go look at it. It is.
Okay,
Oh,
as
I
soon as
need-
this is
I'm
over, I
gonna
can't
go-
wait to tune in.
wow, now we're
Taylor,
gonna go back
Taylor,
and look
go
at
get me
body
Gone Girl,
parts.
please.
Great. I don't know if I want to see his.
It's pretty big. It's down his knee.
Good for him.
You see
To
Mark
his
Wahlberg's
knee.
real dick.
Wait,
It's big.
You also see Mark Wahlberg's real dick in not Deuce Bigelow in
Deuce Bigelow.
Boogie Nights.
I don't think that's real.
You don't think so?
No, I think that's.
I'm gonna
Think it's
Google it right
if
now.
it is, good for him.
prosthetics.
Yeah,
Taylor
prosthetics.
showed his dick on this show, so you never know what's going to happen, right?
I hope
Okay.
you're not showing your dick on
Wait,
the show,
you
Taylor.
should.
Taylor.
She's just joking. Don't worry, Carmen.
She'll take
I'm
one
not
out.
afraid of it.
She's maybe seen one.
Whatever.
Okay, so at what point do you break up with the Cypress Hill? What did you call him?
His name's
Be real.
Be
Look,
real.
Lauren, come on.
I don't.
Insane in the
You guys-
membrane.
You know
Okay,
Cypress
I know
Hill?
who that is. When she sings that, I don't. I listen to Bossa Nova.
You got no street cred, Lauren.
Oh, they're bad at. Yeah, I was learning the rules of the street. He taught me the rules of the street. You know,
So
because he was a blood. You know,
no, I didn't know that.
he was a blood.
Like a
yeah.
real one?
So I was with gangsters all the time.
Wait, he's a real
Lauren,
blood.
you do not know Cypress Hill.
Yeah,
This
I
but,
know.
is,
but like
I
you
don't
know,
know
I
who that
think
is.
they just
we're gonna
you
listen
know,
to it today.
maybe coming out of that because you know of the music.
Because he did so
But
well with the music because of
legit,
his like.
legit, he was a blood. Like, so I remember hanging out. I'd sit on a couch.
Taylor, hold on.
No, I wasn't
Side note:
scared.
are you eating something back there? What does that smell?
Me? No, I'm
I
not.
smell
Someone's
some- I
making
smell
popcorn.
Yeah, we
popcorn.
smell popcorn.
Yeah,
I
I never know.
smelled popcorn.
One time he opened like Kung Pao chicken back there.
No,
and I
he
was
opened
trying to
No,
get-
Panda
but it was
Express.
badass because he really taught me the laws.
I am all about breathable, natural, long-lasting cotton. So we're teaming up with cotton, the fabric of our lives. I am really trying to be so intentional and mindful about what I'm wearing when I'm home, relaxing with my kids, being present. So when Cotton reached out, I was so excited. I'm sure all you guys know that going natural with cotton is the move. Cotton comes from the earth, unlike synthetic and man-made fibers. I am trying to be more mindful and present in every area of my life. I want to stay grounded, especially when I'm home. You guys all know cotton. Who doesn't like cotton? It's breathable, natural, long-lasting cotton. It's amazing. And cotton is natural. Cotton comes from the earth. So there's a lot of synthetic and man-made fibers out there in our clothes. I actually just learned, and I had no idea about this, that polyester is made from crude oil. That is the same oil that's used to make fuel for cars, which is wild. I also didn't know that every time we wash synthetic fabrics like polyester clothing, we're contributing to microplastics in our waterways. Cotton has really taught me a lot about synthetic fabrics, and I'm trying to learn more and more. I'm trying to even carry like cotton totes to the farmer's market. I don't want to use a lot of plastic bags. I'm just doing anything that I can do and basically my part. So remember to check the label for cotton and take a deep breath and focus on the present. Cotton is the fabric of now. Learn more at thefabricofourlives.com. All right, we are going to talk about J-Lo. There is no one like her, but really there is nothing like her skin. I mean, her skin is actually incredible. And I feel like her skin has been through all the different phases. She's had all these decades, from sets to shoots to stages. And she somehow has this like no wear on her skin. Like it just looks so beautiful. And I feel like she's been very preventative with her skincare. She just has beautiful glowing skin. So she launched a skincare line. It's called J-Lo Beauty's Deluxe Kit. She was really motivated by her experience to create her own skincare line. So she created something that was luxurious, but also accessible. If you're looking for one product, I would pick out her That Blockbuster Hydrating Cream. So this makes your skin like super plump and dewy. And I know that you guys who are listening like that plump and dewy look. And this is absolutely my pick out of everything. I can see why people are obsessed. There's people from like an 8-week clinical study who have tried it that have smoother skin as a result. So if you're looking for that plump, sort of dewy, glassy look, that's the one. Want that JLo glow? Head to jlobeauty.com/skinny and get a special gift of 4 free masks for listeners of The Skinny Confidential. Head to jlobeauty.com/skinny for 4 free masks and free shipping today. jlobeauty.com/skinny.
When you guys broke up, were you single at this point?
Baywatch was over, and yeah, like there was a moment where I was single, and this is so crazy. I was with a bunch of my friends. We walk into a club. Well, we're leaving the club. Sorry, I'm leaving the club. And Dennis Rodman and his crew's coming in. And they took my coat off, like literally like, stay. I'm like, no, we're going to go. Threw my coat behind the bar. And then said, what do you want to drink? And I'm just like, okay, I guess we're here. I'm going to get my typical Sex on the Beach that's your
drink order?
I don't even know if people know how to make it anymore, but that was always my little cocktail drink.
What's a Sex on the Beach by Carmen Electra? Tell us how to make it.
Oh my God, I would have to look it up because I never have really made it. I just asked the bartenders. I feel like it's got like peach schnapps and it's got a bunch of things in it.
Taylor,
but it
Google
tastes sweet.
Okay.
It tastes sweet. And you can get really tipsy quickly.
So Dennis Rodman sees you at the bar in your hot outfit ordering a Sex on the Beach?
I was walking out with my friends. We were done. We
He's
were
like, not so
leaving
fast.
the club. And they were coming in, and he always had like this huge entourage of people. And so they like stopped us. And then, I don't know, my coat, like, give me your coat. And it was thrown behind the bar. And I was like, I want to go. I don't want to be here. But we exchanged numbers, and he was always trying to call me. I never answered him back.
Oh, they always fall for that.
And then,
this is the way to get a guy,
but
guys.
I don't know what happened. He invited me to go to a Bulls game, and I just went. I just went by myself.
And he fell in love.
It felt quick. Yeah, it was quick. It was very quick. I don't even know how to explain it. It was a
How
deep.
long were you guys together before you got married?
I don't even know. I don't think it was even that long. You know?
At this point,
But
he was.
That made some headlines.
but
I remember that.
Oh, it was crazy. I couldn't look at, like, I was on the news every day about that. But it was like all my friends were there. It was because it was in Vegas. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to get married in Vegas.
Why? Seems kind of fun. No?
No, it's not fun.
Why? Tell me if you could envision
I was
your
in my
perfect.
regular clothes that we were out that night in, and then I had a calendar shoot, and I needed to leave that next morning. And he kept waking me up. He was having people come to the bed, wake me up out of my sleep, and all my friends happened to be there. It was just one of those times where all of his cool friends were there, and all of my girlfriends were there, and he was sending them up to me. And I just remember finally he picked me up, and I'm standing on the bed, so now we're even height because I'm 4'2.5", and he was crying, "Come on, please, Mama, marry me." And I was deep. I will always have like this love for him. I don't even know, there was a connection. It happened right away when I first went there. He's like, "You're never gonna leave."
So when you get.
And even like I would say, like Michael Jordan, like I got to do things that none of the other girls got to do because I don't know why. I mean, when they won the last championship, I knew it was going to be my fault if he didn't win. If they, if Rodman didn't play good, it goes back on you. And so,
Wait, what?
don't you know that?
No,
about
I don't know that.
sports?
No.
They didn't athlete, and if they don't
Let's
play
hope
well,
she doesn't at this point. But
and they don't play well, it's the girlfriend's fault or the wife's fault. Like sports people, they love their athletes.
Okay. So he wins. What happens if he wins?
Oh, it was a huge celebration. I was
what do you
pulled,
mean? What happens if they
No,
did?
I'm saying that to
and it was
her,
on
what
the
happens
last
if they win?
dance. It was on the last dance.
What is the last dance?
Oh my God, Lauren.
No, I
Documentary.
don't know. That's
Oh my
what-
God! It's the documentary. Michael Jordan asked
Lauren.
me to do it personally,
I gotta
and I said
watch.
this.
I didn't know what The Last Dance was either, in her defense.
You guys, oh my God, it's
I'm gonna have
a
to.
necessary watch.
We're gonna have to brush up on some cultural
It's a
things around here.
necessary watch.
Okay.
Watching how Michael Jordan grew, how the team came in, and it was Rodman, Pippen, and Jordan, and I mean they had already won a million rings, I would say.
So when
But
he
got
wins,
to kiss the I got to go back. Like this is just Michael Jordan being nice because he runs it. Michael Jordan runs the show. So security grabbed me. They brought me in. Champagne's flowing. Everyone's just And then he went to a room, and it was only the basketball players. And Dennis pulled me in.
You guys were
and-
dating or married at this time?
We probably were married, I would say. Yeah, we were married at that time. Yes, we
Okay.
were. I got to kiss the trophy. I was the only girl allowed in there, and that was their last championship, It was really special. I just was shocked.
that's wild.
I know. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's cool.
You know what's
Who wouldn't
crazy
want to be in there?
No, that's cool.
about
yeah. So there's a
your-
picture, and me and we're kissing the trophy. And
You might need to
Well,
post that
what's-
again on
what's
Instagram
crazy
and do
as
a
I'm-
TBD.
As I'm listening to you talk, and Lauren kind of alluded to
Mhm.
this earlier, is like there's a lot of stuff going on right now, but I feel like it's harder to pick out iconic moments nowadays because there's so many moments and there's so
there's
much
a lot-
visibility.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
there
like you were a
is.
part of a lot of very memorable, iconic moments that a lot of people can look back on and say like, oh, I remember that time. Because like that moment, or even the Baywatch, or even the stuff at the spring break, like there wasn't as many. I mean, maybe there were things going on, but you didn't see as many things.
It
If
was
that makes sense.
wild because I just kept feeling this like a current, It just kept moving.
Like we had
It was it was very bizarre.
Do you get addicted to like it's like these moments that you've had? Do you get addicted? Like it's like gets better and better. Do you get addicted or no? Like were you like
I
ready for?
wouldn't say addicted. It just would feel. It feels good
Yeah.
when you get a job and you audition.
Yeah.
You know, and then I was able to take care of myself. Find you know.
Amazing.
Because I had these jobs and my life changed a lot. But oh my God, we were so wild. It was fun.
It sounds like a blast.
He was a blast.
Yeah. He also seems, and this is just from like seeing him on television, he seems very quiet but confident.
He is.
But he's
It's a Taurus thing. I mean, I'm a double Taurus and he's a Taurus.
When's your birthday?
April 20th, 4/20.
Okay.
So I'm on the Aries cusp, but a double Taurus.
Okay.
I think my moon is in Cancer. But Cancers are great. I like Cancers a lot.
So,
And my Venus is in Gemini.
oh, I'm a Gemini.
Oh, you are?
May
I love
21st.
Geminis.
You never know what you're going to get.
I know. That's why I love them. I need to be entertained.
That sounds familiar.
I need to be
That
entertained.
sounds familiar.
Because the Geminis like this, and then they're also I feel like very intelligent people. I've dated a lot of Geminis. B-Real was a Gemini. Prince was a Gemini.
I think
It's a
Prince and I have the same birthday, maybe.
June 7th?
No, never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. Disregard.
I don't remember a lot of birthdays, but that one I remember.
Are you with Dennis at this time that Baywatch has already ended to give a
It's
timeline?
ended, so it was starting to air.
So how do you
So
decide?
I like literally, I mean, I remember when I'd fly home, I'd cry.
Why?
I didn't want to, I was missing him already. I mean, it was very real. People thought it was like a joke and like a whole press thing,
Because it just took up all
but it
the press.
wasn't.
At what point? It was like
And then,
everywhere.
but like it got more difficult, I think, after he was playing for the Bulls, you know? Because there was a structure there.
So what
You know.
happens? Do you like you obviously you guys break up?
Well, no, we were still together. I mean, like I was kind of pushing away when he played for the Lakers, but then he would do things. This is what he would do. He'd put a towel over his head, and there's footage of it. And he would tell everyone, if I'm not there, he's not playing. So they're like, we'll send a helicopter for you. And I'm like, that's so manipulating. And I ended up going. I got ready in 2 seconds, and he took it off his head and played. So this are the things I went through. And that's when I kind of was like,
So people would blame you.
I can't.
They would like blame you if he wasn't. That's why you feel like.
Maybe.
Michael, that is like that's gnarly.
He's the way he plays on that court, he's not stupid. I think that when he's drunk, he's just party guy, right? But no, he's not. He's a very intelligent man.
Do you think maybe he
I
thought
mean,
you were a
even
good
to-
luck charm?
I think that maybe they felt like I was.
So that's why he wanted
Because
you
I
there.
was trying to always wrangle him in, like, no, you have a game. You know? It was hard. But it was like I didn't. It's funny. I didn't know who Eddie Vedder was at that time because I loved hip hop. I was strictly hip hop, and he loved Pearl Jam. And he's a huge sports fan. So Eddie would be around, but he just said, "This is Eddie," and I have all these pictures of us like wasting time for the games in like a Dave and Buster's, let's say, playing games. We took pictures in this little thing, and we're like pretend fighting. And later on, I realized I was like, oh my God! And I love Pearl Jam. I do things off. I don't like to be on trend. I like to do it
We
my
come
own
back
way.
to it. Yeah.
So like, I'm only into hip hop, but then I'll get into stuff later, and then I'll change it when people are into it. I don't know.
So what?
Maybe that's my rebellious side.
No, I like it. It's juxtaposition. When you are out of Baywatch, how did you decide to maneuver your career to the next thing? Because I imagine you have to be very thoughtful with where you go from Baywatch.
Well, I had the thing is I was spending so much time in Chicago and then going to every game. Like Dennis really wanted me to be at all the games. So my agency was not very happy with me because I was getting all these great scripts and auditions, And I remember I was like, just send them here and I'll study them. And Dennis would throw them out the window. He would throw and I was like, no, you can't do that. So they were kind of like, you kind of need to come back.
But I also think like it's not bad that you starve Hollywood a little bit with your presence and you go kind of behind the scenes and then they want you even more.
And at the time, did you want to continue to pursue acting?
Of course.
Yeah, that was the
oh
thing.
my God. I was getting these great scripts.
So what was the next audition that you felt like was the next sort of piece to your puzzle?
I would have to say yeah, we were absolutely not together anymore. I needed to.
It sounds intense.
It was intense.
Yeah.
I literally had to, I moved and I changed my number.
Yeah, that sounds like I could imagine that would be
Because he was just like,
suffocating.
always would be there. And it just kind of got weird. We got arrested in Miami. I mean, I love my mugshot though. I'm not going to lie. But at that time, you just didn't know if your career is going to be done.
Why did you love your mugshot? Like what is the light right? Like what is your angle right?
I
like
don't know.
what makes a good
So it was like
mugshot?
punk
Just
rock?
in case I need some tips.
You don't need
I
mugshot
don't
tips.
know. I just can look into my eyes when I see it.
It's like cute.
No, I mean, my eyes are intense.
So
You know?
Taylor's Googling it right now.
Oh, you
So
need
look
to
at-
see it. Someone painted it, and then it's in a deck of cards. It's like with Tupac and Biggie,
And
and I'm the Queen of Hearts, and I was like, that's so gangsta.
I mean, it is pretty
Oh
gangster.
my God.
I'm not gonna lie.
When I found them randomly, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta keep these somewhere. I need to relive it all the time.
You could
Because
frame
it
it.
was not fun. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun.
Well,
at
I think
all.
when you're with someone who's so
and they
intense.
were so cool though when I got in there and everything got dropped in 2 seconds because it was ridiculous.
So what was your next audition for your next moment in your career?
I started auditioning for movies, and then I remember I was in Italy shooting this. It's like they do a movie every year. I was in Cortina, and it's like the Christmas movie. They do it every year, and they bring people in, like someone from the United States, but everyone's speaking Italian, and it was really fun. But before that, I auditioned for Scary Movie, but I didn't hear anything, and literally my manager called and said, they want you. And I said, okay, well, I gotta leave. I'm doing this movie. And it worked out on time. I flew from Italy straight to Canada, and I'm just working with the Wayans on the movies. They know what they're doing.
Smart.
I mean, yeah, they're funny, and they know funny. And so it was perfect. I mean, there was a lot of surprises when I got there. The script was different, but I went with the flow. I just went with the flow.
Were they stabbed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Oh,
implant
that
came out?
was in there, though. That part was in there.
Scary Movie was another iconic moment.
You have no idea. Like, I remember we did a worldwide tour for it. So I was kind of out there by myself, but, we're, everywhere, with this movie, premiering it everywhere in the world. But I remember coming back, and I wanted to go see it just like a regular person, hiding. And the energy, and it was sold out. So you have to order before. And I went with a couple friends, and we slipped in, and we're just like this. And just to hear like the response,
Cool.
it would just brought back that genre. And it was fun. And I think when I did that, people kind of went, oh, she's fun. And she doesn't take everything so serious. And that's really kind of how I am anyway. So
I think that too,
it was
it's
a good,
self-deprecating.
I think it was a good thing to do.
Yeah. So
And girls to this day they still on Halloween will like create it, and I love that. I'm like, oh my God, that's the sweetest thing ever. I love you guys that do that. It's really cute.
What?
I was just with Katy Perry, and there was a couple people in there. A guy said, I became a lifeguard because of you. Like, we'll hear that from random people all the time, and that's really sweet. Like the whole entire cast.
what are you doing and working on right now? What are the things that are important to you at this moment?
I have something I can't talk about that's coming out that will be really fun. And then I'm doing a Disney movie.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Can you say which one, or is it not? That's
I don't think I can say it yet, but it's a completely different kind of movie.
And what would
The type of movie that I really want to do.
what did you just do with Katy Perry? You were telling us off air.
Oh my gosh. At Club Evita, I hosted the night and she performed and it was lit.
And you have a Baywatch thing coming out, yeah? You talk about that?
Yes, of course, the Baywatch documentary. Yeah,
I
that's
can't wait to see
exciting.
that. Tell us about that. What can we expect?
I mean, I think you're just gonna hear things on the other side. I think everyone has their story, and everyone's gonna open up. There's never before seen footage that people would bring their cameras,
that's cool.
and we all go pretty deep. I feel, like I said, that there's really exciting moments. Like if you accomplish something that felt really, even diving off of speeding boats with rescue cans and not literally hitting everyone, or it was 10, 1, 2, 3, we're in, and we're on a speeding boat and I was like, here we go, we're going to do this. But when you see those clips, we're just throwing the rescue can, we literally could have knocked another cast member out.
I feel like if you did the show now, there would be a lot of more regulations around it than there was at the time.
I feel like there were a lot because one of the creators and directors is a real lifeguard in real life. So we had a safety team. You learned how to do CPR. I could save a life with that.
Were all the guys pretending like they needed to have CPR by you?
I feel like some of the friends of them would just go, who do you want to have a scene with? And then they would just be drowning, and then you'd pull them in and, mouth to mouth and do the little,
This show was on for a long
Such
time.
a good theme song.
But then Kelly Slater was on it, who is, this iconic surfer. I wish I was on when he was on. He's so gorgeous.
Pretty eyes.
He's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I love surfers. I love seeing those things, and because I got a chance to kind of learn it, but then
You did
The
reality
glamour.
television too before anyone. Was it before the
Oh.
before
What
the
did I do
Osbournes?
no, it wasn't before the Osbournes.
Okay, so it was
No.
around then though,
Yeah,
right?
same team.
But the Osbournes
Yeah.
the first ones to do it?
I think the Osbournes were the
I feel
One of the
first.
they may have been.
I'm
First
dying
family?
to interview Ozzy Osbourne about how I feel like he started
Oh my
reality
God.
television.
If you just-
I
hold
love
on,
that
if-
family so much.
If all you
They're
talk
cool.
about
I was
Ozzy
really
Osbourne is
close
reality
to-
television, I'm going to jab a dull knife
I
into my
see
neck.
all kinds of things because they are constantly on social media, and it's hilarious because he's just who he is.
I think that they did start the Kardashian type of show.
For
Right.
sure.
But you were
in
not
Black
far
Sabbath?
after.
in a rock and roll type of way because everyone was like,
How did you
know.
decide to do reality television, and why did you want to do it? And did you even know that
I
it was a
didn't
thing?
want to do it at first, but it was the same people I'd worked with at MTV, and they just really wanted to do this thing, like a kind of like just trying it out, and it was called A Love Story. And they followed me to get Pussycat Dolls, and they followed us around, and that one I felt was really cute. And then they want a personal meeting. It was all intense. They wanted to do the wedding show called Till Death Do Us Part. By the way, the first ones to do that.
You're the
Just saying. Yeah, our show was called Till Death Do Us Part. But, I mean, we did things that were really outside the box. I mean, we shot in a morgue with blue veins. And who shot it? Oh, my God, he's iconic. David LaChapelle.
You inspired me from that show. I remember thinking, oh, I want to do a joint bachelor because
I think we created that.
Yeah.
Because
I remember that.
because we were so cool about everything. And I think the one that was being crazier. He was very on his best behavior. And I remember he was looking for me, and I was getting a lap dance from a girl and making out with a girl in a hot tub.
He was like, this is the best part.
He was very composed.
Did you like shooting reality television?
I like doing that because I felt like it would be, okay, we're doing the cake tasting today.
Yeah.
He was also on tour, so I would be doing a lot of stuff there. Then he would come back, and then he would be doing yoga and getting a colonic, which was hilarious, right?
Wow, that's like really.
But our wedding was so abstract. It was very abstract, and everyone was there. It was really sweet that everyone was there. When we rocked out, I mean, the band got up and played, and everyone was there. It was cool.
You've lived a wild life.
Oh, I know.
It's a wild life. And
It
I feel like
is.
we only scratched the
I love
surface.
it, though. I don't want to be boring.
No, who does? Never
Definitely
be
not boring.
Before you go, can you share with our audience, because I feel like they would be mad at me, what your beauty, wellness, health, diet, fitness secrets are?
Well, I would say back in the day, I only drank sodas. Only. And there is even like a funny footage of Dave and I, and where he's saying, you have to stop drinking these Cokes. You drink half of them. I go to pick it up and it spills. And I look down and I go, but there's 2 cigarette butts right here. We had like great chemistry, I feel we did. And we were funny like that. So then it was like, okay, I'm going to stop drinking these Cokes when you stop smoking, which would be so much easier for me. But in the long run, I'm a water fanatic. I tricked my brain into loving water.
Okay. And
And I feel like it was one of the best things I've ever done.
is the way you look the way you do from dancing? Because you dance a lot.
Yeah. Although I'm so sore from Evita.
I knew you were
I'm not gonna lie.
No, I saw it. You're like,
I'm not
you're
gonna
moving.
lie. Oh my God. Well, it was just like this, the energy was so lit, and just, hosting the event. And then I just was up there dancing, like just what I love to do. For, for a lot of people that have really supported my career. And I could feel it. And Katie was lovely. And
Carmen
she
Electra,
said something really sweet to me.
Tell
and-
us. You got to tell us what she said.
I don't know. We have to watch it. You have to watch
Okay.
it. I don't want to repeat it, but she was lovely. What she said really, it was like a heartfelt thing. And now I'm more obsessed with Katie than ever.
It's pretty iconic. You know what?
And she's so tall and gorgeous. And I'm 5'2.5". So it's like, wow. She's just got this presence about her.
I don't know a lot of people that we've personally had on this podcast that have had such a long career. I mean, you really have had a long career.
You've done a lot.
Yeah, you've done a lot.
Yeah.
Where can everyone find you? Pimp yourself out. Tell us where they can go support what you're doing, your Instagram handle, all the
Well,
things.
obviously that, which is my name. I hate when people say their name.
Why?
Isn't that weird?
Why?
When
Like when they say at Carmen
your
Electra?
own name, like you're speaking and then you say your
Like
own
third
name.
person.
I don't know. I feel weird. I'll accidentally do it if I'm trying to figure something out, and I don't blame anyone for doing it. It's just something that feels weird to me.
Okay.
Feels like
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's third person.
It's third person. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's weird.
So where can they,
it's Carmen Electra. We will
Listen, I
find
don't
you
judge
at-
anyone that does it, but I just.
Taylor, don't get too excited. He's going to ask you for a picture. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey.
Thank you.